Raise your hand if you know any negative people. Now, raise your hand if you are a negative person. Okay, now look around, look around. We all know one, but no one is one, right? You know what? Somebody was honest. You know what I should ask you? I should say this. I won't do it, but I should ask you. Raise your hand if the negative person you know is somewhere in this room. Look, if they sit next to you, just blink hard twice. You know what I realized about leadership is we are actually responsible for that environment. That's our reality. We're responsible for that environment, and we have to stay away from having, or at least fostering, crabs in a barrel. You know what I'm talking about, right? Come on, I'm from Maryland. We're known for crabs. If you take live crabs, put them in a barrel, take the lid off of the top of the barrel, what's going to happen to the crabs? But every time a crab tries to crawl out, another one will claw at it and bring it back down. Every time, at least in Maryland. Every time. I was in Iowa last week. They have different crabs out there. Every time a crab tries to crawl out, another one will claw at it and bring it back down. You know that's the same exact thing negative people do with your ideas? When I went to write my first book, I was so excited about the nuts and bolts of public speaking, which is flying off the shelves now. Not really. But when I went to write that book, I was so excited. I went to some friends of mine. Evidently, Tashawn, I forgot who I was talking to. Huh? It ever happened to you? You ever take some positive news to some negative people? Even in math, a positive times a negative is a negative. Right? So I went to my friends. I said, I'm going to write this book on public speaking. I'm so excited. Who better than me, the world champion of public speaking, to write a book on it? I can't wait. And they looked at me and said, don't you know the odds of getting it published? Don't you know it probably won't work? Don't you know even if you self-publish it, you still have to market it, and not that many people know you. Who do you even think you are? Why do you think so highly of yourself? Why don't you just come back down here in this barrel and join us? I was so upset about this. I called my friend Steve. I said, Steve, you're positive. Tell me something. Tell me anything. Steve said, Craig, you write that book. I will be the first one in line to purchase it. I said, Steve, that is $15.95. Hey, just because he's nice does not make it free. But be honest. You know why negative people get to us? Because, number one, they don't know they're negative. That's where you have to make them face reality, because they just think they're being realistic, right? Oh, they're being negative. You got to put a mirror up to them. Right? But number two is negative people don't even need to say anything, do they? Where is it? It's all in their what? You see how she said that? In their attitude. Yeah, in the body language, in the facial expression. True or false? A negative person can walk in a positive room and suck up all the energy. You ever felt deflated after talking to one of these people? And don't you know that's the same energy we need to thrive? You know you can't feel deflated and rise at the same time. And eventually we go from feeling deflated to feeling defeated. So I was with a good friend of mine named Ed Tate. He's a wonderful leader. He merged companies in Colorado. And we were in Vegas gambling away some of his money. And I said, Ed, you're a great leader. What's your secret? And by the way, you might want to do this. He said, Craig, everything changed in my environment when I realized that I'm contagious, that everything starts with me. He said, and I started wearing a rubber band around my wrist. And anytime I find myself thinking negatively, I just snap the rubber band. It snaps me out of that mindset, and I'm thinking positively again. He said it's affected everything about me, my marriage, my relationships, everything is great. I said, yeah, but look at your welts. But he's the one who taught me I'm responsible for my space. So when I'm running the homeless program in Baltimore City, I have to realize there's a lot of negativity coming in, but there's not a whole lot of negativity going out. Okay? I'm responsible for that space. And you talked about the journey, your life's journey, right? Anybody you keep on your life's journey, I'm talking to you as an individual now, has to be positive. One person can strip you down. You ever been on a flight with a lot of turbulence? How's that feel? Yeah, you like it. When you're on a flight with a lot of turbulence, let me ask you a question. Isn't the pilot's tone important? Right? Because the pilot will get on there, we're experiencing some turbulence, But we're going to take this flight to another elevation and see if we can miss some of that bumpy air. So you just sit back, relax, have a great rest of the flight. Now do it with me. Everybody on the flight feels better. We all go, ah. Now, if the pilot got on there and said, whoa, did you feel that one? Chances are you're looking for the nearest exit. Did you realize as a leader you're the pilot? You're the pilot. People are watching what you do, and they're listening for your tone. You are the pilot. I had a real positive lady in my Galveston, Texas audience recently. She jumped up at that point in the speech and said, I don't care about the turbulence. Just sit me next to the black box, because the black box always survives. And, of course, I had a totally different view. I'm like, you put me next to the black box and something goes wrong, you're going to hear all kinds of language you never expected to hear coming out of that. Right? Not the way I want to be remembered.